All right. Thanks for tuning in to Watching the World. We have quite a few people already in the building. Shout out to Eric and Bordeaux and Deborah and everybody else that's in the chat. Thank you guys for all the support of the channel. I really do appreciate it. Today, we're going to get into a subject that everybody's talking about, and that is Donald Trump. Yesterday, I was telling you guys how Donald Trump is really crushing the market when it comes to the stock market. The money is crazy as far as how the economy has switched from what we saw initially when him and Elon were at it and at the beginning of his administration. But now things are moving along. But today we're going to look into the whole Epstein, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk, the whole deal. So we're going to pull up the video and go through it. If anybody would like to come up and share some points or some ideas, feel free to come up. I'm going to make it possible for you to do so here in 1 minute. I'm going to share the link in the chat. So if you'd like to come up, share some thoughts or have a discussion, you could just hit the link and come up through the StreamYard. So let's get into the video that we have here and see what's happening when it comes to these individuals. So, Trump versus Musk, the Epstein files debate heats up. It says Elon Musk demands Epstein files. Okay, so let's see. Seriously, he said Epstein half a dozen times while telling everyone to stop talking about Epstein. Just release the files as promised. So today, this is what Elon Musk had to say about the whole ordeal. He wants Donald Trump to just release the files. What's the issue? Okay, Elon Musk urges Donald Trump to release the Epstein files as promised. So this is I guess this is a tweet from today. This is a video. A lot of people are actually saying that Donald Trump and Epstein did not know each other. Well, this video shows us something quite different. It says Musk challenges Trump after he defended his administration handling of the case. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. All right. It looks like they're at some sort of event together. I'm not sure. It seems that there's an issue here. Trump told supporters to stop attacking his team over the Epstein files. Okay. So it looks like these guys knew each other quite well. Contrary to what's said, the FBI report stated there's no client list or evidence of blackmail. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that as well, that there is no list. Let's see. All right. Impact. Okay. So we have that's a pretty interesting concept you have. All right. Bordeaux, thank you for taking care of that with him. We have some interesting people in the audience. Okay. I'm pretty sure that discussing Donald Trump is going to bring out a lot of Trump supporters. But we're ready for it. Let's get to it. All right, here's another photo of Donald Trump and Epstein together. It says the FBI also concluded Epstein died by suicide in jail. Okay. So Donald Trump has been defending Attorney General Pam Bondi. I think I've seen that in the media. Trump accused Biden administration of creating files. Okay. So let's see what Elon Musk says. He says, I regret some of my posts about President last week. They went too far. So at some point, it looks like Elon Musk apologized. Okay. Okay, so Trump supporters, including far-right conspiracy theorists, remain doubtful of the FBI report. Okay, wow, that's interesting, being that Donald Trump is running this administration. Elon Musk says, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Okay, wow. Okay, so this is where Donald Trump was saying that this is the reason why he got rid of Elon Musk. He said he was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away the EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted. Okay. Trump supporters, including far right. Okay, we went over that already. Okay. So we're just going through some of these old tweets. Okay. Many believe that Epstein's file contains evidence of blackmail prominent individuals. I wonder who these individuals are. Okay. Very good. Okay, so Elon Musk says, is it time to create a new political party in America? Wow, that actually represents 80% in the middle. Okay. So this is what we've been hearing in the media as far as Elon Musk starting a new party. Okay. Okay, Elon Musk says the Trump tariff will cause a recession in the second half of this year. Okay. All right, so we see what's happening so far. So what do you guys think? Do you think that there's some foul play when it comes to Epstein? We're going to go through the videos here. Or do you think it's what the Republicans are trying to spin this as? Well, at least Donald Trump is trying to spin this as that he just unalived himself. What do you guys think? You think it was foul play? Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Okay. Latrell, shout out to you. Amy says, hi, it's a public docket. Jane Doe versus Trump and Epstein. No mystery there. Very interesting. Okay. Latrell, peace family. Shout out to you. Amy says, Elon has always known Trump and Epstein were besties. He didn't care when he was using Trump for his set interests. Okay. That's a good point. All right. Let's continue. So I guess this is the hospital that Epstein was taken to the day he met his demise. It said, Musk urged Trump to simply release the files and end the speculation. Okay. I noticed that Elon Musk is saying files, but Donald Trump and Bondi are saying a list. Seems that they're not talking about the same thing, right? Is that what you guys are gathering too? They're not really talking about the same thing. I wonder if I wonder if they're just trying to throw out a list to keep from confronting the real matter of these files. Let's see. Issue continues to divide Trump's followers, with many unconvinced by official report. So it appears that the MAGA supporters are having trouble with this whole issue. Okay. Elon Musk urges Donald Trump to release the files. Okay. I guess this is the hospital where perhaps he was taken to. I was told by one of at Diddy's trial, right beside the courthouse, they have this jail that's shut down. And so one of the officials at the courthouse said that next door, that's where Epstein was housed. I actually took a video of the building. I'll share that probably on a short, but after Epstein died, the building has been basically shut down. So that's very interesting because they said that Diddy is going back and forth to the MDC, I believe, or the MDA. But normally, when you have a big trial for 8 weeks of the sort, you would just go next door and stay where Epstein met his demise. All right. So this is basically where Epstein was housed. Okay. Let's take a look here. This is where he was in jail. Let's go back a little bit. I guess they give a timeline as to the night he passed away. So okay. So it's August the 10th, 2019. It's at 6:30 a.m. Okay, it says guards seen moving back and forth between the area of Epstein's cell and the common area. So they're talking about there's two levels here. You see the upper level, and in the background, you can see where the guards are here in this back corner. Hopefully, you guys can see my cursor. All right, hopefully. So this is 6:30 a.m. and you can see the guards walking back and forth. Okay. Okay, it says more guards enter the common area, presumably after the discovery of his body. Okay. So apparently he died at a cell on the lower level, but you're unable to see the actual door to his cell. Hmm. So apparently there's just one camera here on the upper level. And I think Donald Trump said that there were some cameras that weren't working. So perhaps they're at the lower level, but this is the only camera that the only angle that they have. And I believe this is the one that's missing 1 minute. So let's go back a little bit. I want to see something here. Let's see. I thought it showed when Epstein was going downstairs. Let's see. Okay, so I guess we don't get that frame here. So this camera view only shows these two doors, but it's not Epstein's cell. His cell is on the lower level, I guess, out of frame. But you can't see the guards moving back and forth at this desk. It appears to be a desk. Wow. So now Donald Trump is calling him. Apparently they were friends, but now Donald Trump is calling him a creep. So she said the list was sitting on her desk. All right. Shout out to you, Joe Flores. Okay. Let's see what else everybody is saying here. Okay, man, we have a lot of people in here. So let me go back. There's so many comments here. Okay. Beastmaster, his jail looks better than my home. Okay. So it looks better than your home, Beastmaster. Okay. Yes, Eric, that's thank you. MDC in Brooklyn. Oh, okay. So maybe the statement they made about the jail being next door to the courthouse in Manhattan, maybe the guy was confused. I'll have to look into that more. Okay, Lorraine, good evening. Shout out to you. Bordeaux, shout out to you. Thanks for all the support. Tia Kiki, Michael of Columbia family was in the same prison in that same block, and he says there's 0% chance Epstein unalived himself. Wow. I'll have to check out this guy named Michael. Um, is this someone that you saw in the media or you perhaps know? I'm just curious too. Beastmaster, they absolutely got rid of him and faked his death if he was high enough on the pecking order. Okay. That's one way to look at it. Okay. Mark says Alex Acosta eliminated this case. Then Trump made him Secretary of Labor. Okay. Very good. Good point. Beastmaster will meet him in the hereafter and ask him what happened because you know damn well they're never going to release the list. But here's the thing, Beastmaster. I think the list is a distraction. I think Elon Musk, from what I saw in those tweets, he's actually asking for the files. And I think that would be different. But if you say, hey, there's no list, then technically you're not lying. But it's like, sending people on a wild goose chase, right? All right. Shout out to you, Mark. Thank you for all the participation. Joe Flores, what's happening? Okay. Thank you, Bordeaux, for that. Mezzo, it's all BS. He was unalived. You think so? A lot of people feel that way about this particular case, but I think we're going to dig into it. Any information you guys have, please share. I haven't really been following the case in depth, but because I was so caught up in the Diddy case, but we're going to have at it tonight. We're just going to go through it. Anyone that wants to come up and share some thoughts or discuss this whole case, feel free to come up. We can have an open discussion tonight. Yes, Joe, a lot of people do feel that way. Okay. It's YouTube says release the Trumpstein files. Yeah, that's pretty catchy. The Trumpstein files. Looks like they were friends. I'm pretty sure that video wasn't made by AI, right, guys? Or the picture. Carpe Diem says, do I own any MAGA hats? No, I do not own a MAGA hat. Henry Zoom, release the list, Donnie. Release it, release it, release it. That's right, Henry. Or I would say release the files. I think the files is what's really the concern. I do think that they were talking about a list earlier on. Wasn't it a list in regards to the airplane and I don't know, something to the effect of the passengers, right? Because they tried to say some famous celebrities and rappers were on the list, right? Okay, Bordeaux, thank you. Carpe, okay, you're just saying hi. What's up, Sam? How are you? Thanks for the shout out. Nathan says Obama's administration FBI already concluded Trump had no involvement in Epstein Island. So Obama did that investigation. Okay. Could you elaborate more on that? Show us some receipts or something of the sort so we can dig a little deeper. Tia says, hi, Mel. Okay, so I went through that. Dominic, Ozzy, Crosby sympathizes with PDF files. Okay, so I think you're... Okay, I get what you're saying. That's a unique way of saying it. Maybe when I cover the Drake and the UMG case, that's the way I'm going to say it. It's a defamation case about PDF files. Okay. Dominic, thanks for that creative way of saying that to stay YouTube friendly. Yes, Ozzy, the files need to be released. Okay, Dave. Oh my goodness, Dave, come on. Give us a break. Dave says, make America happy again. All right. Okay, Nicole, why Mr. Trump was involved. Okay. You think he was involved, Nicole? That's what you're saying? Rick James, ask Google what is the fifth highest degree in the Church of Satan? Hmm. That's a good question. I'll have to ask Google that, Rick. That's a very constructive question. Mezzo says, absolutely unalive by the cult to keep the fat felon happy. Oh my. Whew. Can't believe anyone could believe otherwise. No one who's innocent works this hard to hide and cover up documents. You think it's a cover up, Mezzo? You think that the person that sits in the highest seat of America, in fact, and probably you could say the world, would actually be involved in a cover up? Good point. Ozzy, he disowned Epstein in 97. Okay. I have not heard about that one. So thank you for that insight. If it's true, then that makes a good point. Okay. Salt, pepper, natural. Thanks for all the comments. We have so many people participating. I really appreciate it. When the president is compromised, we'll never see the files. Well, that's what Elon Musk is saying. He's saying that the president is compromised, that he was on that airplane. Folks, we don't want to think that, do we? Especially if it was involving PD files, as one of the guys has said. So, here's a question I have for you guys. It would be nice to have someone answer it. Elon Musk started off as a Democrat. Do you think he deliberately went over, cozied up with Donald Trump, and had access through Doge to all of the government information? And now he's returning to the Democrats, or as he says, starting this third party. What do you guys think? You think he did it by design, or he has sour apples? What do you guys think? You think he's just bitter from what happened? Rick James says MAGA. Does that mean that you are a MAGA supporter, Rick James? Talk to us. Tell us all about it. I don't think anybody here is bad mouthing MAGA. So if you are a part of MAGA, stand on it. Stand on it, Rick. Sam says files should be revealed to the American public. You really understand who's running the government priority. Exactly. In one of the videos you're about to see, Alex Jones starts crying, folks. He starts crying. Yes, indeed. He's so sad about those files. He's going to cry. You're going to see it. Joe Flores says, they were all high profile people and wealthy people. It would make sense that they would know a lot of other people in their circle. Good point, Joe. That makes sense. And Mezzo agrees. Ozzy says, why didn't the last administration release them? That's a good question. Why didn't Joe get involved with the Epstein files? That's a very good question. Sally, does anybody know what happened to Joe? Joe Biden. Why didn't Joe Biden release the files, folks? Somebody tell us. Give us the answer in the comments. Why didn't let's see. Okay, white supremacists don't like to see anyone having a good time, laughing, dancing, enjoying life. Okay, Sally, tell us all about it. She tells us how they operate. I don't know any upfront white supremacists. I can say that. Maybe I know a few down low ones or what have you, but I'm from the South and I've never really had any head on collision with white supremacists. So that's an interesting concept to me. Scott, we'll see how everybody pissed at Pan because of the Epstein files. Pissed at Pam. You said Pam, okay. Because of Epstein files, who is her boss, and the way he acted in the interviews, it's almost like he does have something to do with the Rothschilds, Trump, lied. Okay, so you think Trump is lying to the American people? Well, if the president of the United States lies to the American people, we're all doomed. Okay, Rick says it's MAGA. Okay, so you're not claiming MAGA per se. Okay. Ozzy says it's literally made headlines when it happened. He kicked them out of Mar-a-Lago. He kicked Epstein? You say them. Did he kick Epstein and his crew out of Mar-a-Lago? Tell us what happened, Ozzy. What really happened? Impact. Where is Elon now? I think Elon lives in Texas. He has one of those little compact houses that's probably costs pennies on the dollar. We have a lot of comments, a lot of support for this discussion. I'm very encouraged by that. I'm going to have to do way more of these Trump shows. Ozzy says he was never on the Express. Is that Donald Trump, Ozzy? He was never on the Express. He's not on the list. So if he's not on the list, tell him to release the list. Let us see. Joe Fleur says sour apples. Yes, indeed. Shall not infringe says this is all by design, perhaps. Sally. Okay, hi, but not me says hell Trump. All right, we have a Trump supporter. A lot of Trump supporters in the building. We welcome everybody. Come on in the building. I appreciate all the comments, all the participation. Trying to get through the comments here. Okay, Handyman says when they releasing the Epstein files. Well, there are no files. Well, yeah, the list, there is no list, but the files, I think we need to have some correction and have them focus on the files instead of talking about this list. Rick James says, fifth highest degree in the Church of Satan is MAGA. I see what you're saying. So I get your point now. Okay, so they're in the Church of Satan, the MAGA folks. They're not too happy about that. We have a lot of MAGA here tonight. So Mossad is who is running for government. Okay, TY. All right. NL says no. He's a corrupt businessman who doesn't care about any party, just who can give his government contracts. You think that's all it's all about, huh? Just government contracts? Okay. Well, we're going to see tonight. We're going to learn more about it. But let's see. Did anyone answer my question about Elon Musk? Was that by design that he started off as a Democrat, went over and became close to the highest man in the country? They had a big falling out after he had access to the books, folks. He had access to the books. And now he's starting his own political party. Isn't that something? I don't think he can become president, but he can set up a party and make someone the king. How amazing. John Ness. I've seen that name before, John. Oh my God, if Trump is compromised, then why didn't Biden do something? 4 years the Democrats were in control. Enough said. MAGA rules. John Ness says that MAGA rules. They hold all the keys, huh? Okay, Handyman says hello. Shout out to you. LR. I know Obama and Bill Clinton was on the island. Oh, they've already seen pictures of them. And so was a lot of the judges and stars. Where are the pictures? There were pictures of Trump and Epstein we just saw. Where are the pictures of Bill Clinton and Obama? Can you back it up, LR? Can you show us the proof? NL says Joe was not in charge. Who was in charge? I can understand that concept. Who do you think was running the government if it wasn't Joe? NL, tell us. A lot of people said it was Kamala. Most people said it was Barack Obama. That was the biggest rumor. Okay, it's a known fact that Maxwell's father was an asset. Many people said the same about Epstein. It's about protecting the blackmail ring and its assets. Still ongoing. CIA would have the full files. So you think it's a cover up with the CIA, Tia? Does anybody else feel that way? That this is a big cover up from the CIA? Meso says Elon is a jerk, but he's right. And the MAGAs have been twisting themselves into pretzels 24/7, lying as they do continuously since. The MAGA folks are really upset with Donald Trump right now. I never thought I would see such a thing. This is mind blowing. Salt and Pepper says Clinton took trips to the island too. Many people have said that. We're going to cover in this video. I think that's one of the points brought out. Handyman says, regardless, his FBI appointed said he had the files. Okay. Ozzy, Joe was never running anything. He was a sock puppet. Oh, first time I heard of him being a sock puppet. Handyman says, regardless, his FBI appointed said he had the files. Okay. Okay. We have some repetition. Sally says, you're lucky. Okay. NL, donors are in charge of it. Who are these donors, NL? And what are they donating? Are they donating funds? What are they doing? Trump seaman is all, oh, goodness. Come on, handyman. Give us a break on that language. YouTube is not rewarding of it. Mezzo says, white nationalists, they are here in the Arizona neighborhood. Okay. Thanks for the input. Thanks for breaking that down, Mezzo. Richard, it's his job to lie to the American people. Is that the Trump of the commander-in-chief? Is that what he does? Beastmaster, humans lie and humans in power lie more. Okay. Shall not infringe says, yes, he did. Does that mean that he lied? Wow, Trump Tower freak offs, Richard? Really? CTM, except DNC, president lies always. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Except DNC. Okay. Richard Moorhead says, who has pics of Diddy and Epstein? They were not discussed together in court. That might be an urban legend. Not a true statement, I would tend to believe. Trump does, says Handyman. Jay says, we pay taxes and vote for pedophiles. Man, people will never stop worshiping these wicked people. They have a lot of followers. How dare you, says Blondie Bondi. Okay. Is she popular right now? You guys are big fans of Bondi. Is she big in the MAGA world? This morning, Donald Trump co-signed her and says that she is doing a wonderful job. Terrific job. Beastmaster says, yes, let us all see. Apple's first product sold was 666. Okay. Oppo says that. Okay, thank you, Bordeaux, for keeping everybody moving along. Richard says he's either on the list or he's protecting them. Okay, a lot of people feel that way. I get that. Oppo says Apple's icon is an apple with a bite out of it for the Garden of Eden. I've heard that before. The first time I've heard that was this year. I've heard that. Somebody put a little thought. If that's true, they put quite some thought into that, right? Ozzy says he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago in 97. Research it. Okay. I definitely will. I hadn't heard that before. Shall not infringe. Yes, he was on the express, not to the island. Are you talking about the president? Shall not infringe. Scott Ray. I think the list is too big with so many heavy hitters. It would crush the whole system, political, government, 500 company leaders and celebrities. Too big for all to fall. Yeah, especially with all the money holding it up. You make a good point, Scott. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, guys, like the video, share, subscribe if you like it. We're going to continue to cover Trump, Elon, and I don't think Epstein's going to last a very long time. But we will cover it for as long as it's on the table, folks. This channel is very unbiased. We're just covering the points. So You guys can be more expressive. I will not get into that realm. Don't even try to get me there, folks. I'm not going there. And Vadando says the Treaty of Guadalupe was violated by ICE agentas. Also was the White House. Okay. Richard says there are flight logs. Okay, so where are the logs at? I do remember they were supposed to release those logs. Donald Trump was never on the Express. Okay. A lot of you guys are making it very clear that the president was not on the Express, folks. He was not there. He's an innocent man. No Record 99 says Trump is awesome. Jack says he was on it 7 times. Oh my goodness. 7 times, not the president. Okay. Not me says thanks for reading my comment. Shout out to you. That's what makes it very interesting. Everybody wants to be heard. Why not? We have time tonight, folks. We're going to cover a lot. I have plenty of time. Richard says Epstein plane still earning money. What? Was rented this year by the government? Wow. Is that true, Richard? Richard, tell me that's not true. That's amazing. That's pretty good info if it's true. Opal says he has pics nonstop with Epstein. So does that mean they were friends for that long and they took pictures? Was it all one night? Or was it so many different events? Shall not infringe says not 7 times. Okay, we have a debater in the house that says it's not true, not 7 times. Rick James says truth, Google it. Okay, I definitely will. Nan says they can't release them after they've used it, all of the blackmailing for so long. Jay Mastermind, welcome back, Jay. The thing is, even if he's on the video touching, the little, nobody will stop voting for him or anybody. Okay. Do you speak that position as a Trump supporter and you're saying like, hey, no matter what, we're going to ride or die with this man? Or are you saying the Trump supporters are going to ride or die with Trump regardless? What's your position, Jay? Talk to us. Talk to us nice. Ozzy, the flight logs show that Trump used Epstein's corporate jets from 92 to 97. Wow. That's a long time. If it is true. Okay, Beastmaster, this host is good-natured, no disrespect of anyone. God bless. Thank you. Thanks for being here, Beastmaster. I'm very unbiased here. I'm just here to discuss. I like to keep up and report the news, and that's what we're going to do. We're not here to incite any issues. Everybody's entitled to how they feel, folks. So respect everybody else, and we can all have a good time. Jay, the world is sick, and you wonder why these PDFs get the most lenient time sentences. That's true. I saw someone on Facebook saying they're trying to make that legal, and I was like, what's that all about? But that's interesting. DG says blue and white striped golden dome of the rock of Epstein Island says it all. Okay. Is that a subliminal message on the plane? Is that what you're saying, DG? Talk to us. Tell us what you think. If you put a PDF as president before interests about children, that's for you and God to figure out. Laughing. Okay, very good. You should do. Okay, call-ins. All right, I'll do some call-ins, folks. I have to figure out how to do that. If you have the information, why not share? And I'll get it set up. I'll set it up tomorrow. Bordeaux, everyone, please be respectful in the chat. No cursing. Okay, yeah, no cursing, guys. Jay, nobody wants to protest and go to war for the kids. Sad moment in time. Richard, he cannot. Richard, I lost track of what you're responding to. They love their politicians. Joe was on Heron. Oh, my goodness. Opal, don't say that. Oh, my goodness. Don't say that about Joe. Okay. All right. Great show tonight. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're just hanging out now, trying to get to the bottom of it. Just so many comments. I appreciate all the comments, folks. We got to get back to the video. While I'm playing the video, let's cool down on the comments because I want to make sure I don't miss any comments tonight. So when I get back to the video here in a minute, we'll just cool down on the comments until I come back to the section. Beastmaster, I could assume many Democrats and Republicans were there also. They're in a big club and you ain't in it. Okay, good point. Ozzy Jack, the last time Trump was on any of Epstein's jets was in 97. Was he really on the jet? So it looks like you guys think that there's some truth to what Elon Musk was saying, right? I think a lot of people feel that way. Jay says this system will never be fixed because people love their side. Okay. Avanzando says hi to all the treaty. Okay, you said that before. Okay. Handyman says if Obama was in the files, Trump would have released the files. Good point. Mossad is written all over this case. Okay. PH hell Trump is worse and more crying than any curse word. Okay, so he's not a fan of that term, hell Trump. Okay, Jay says nobody will ever fight in the middle. You will always have to choose a side in this wicked world. Wicked world. Wicked indeed. Ozzy, yes, both Dems and the Rhinos were on the island. Oh, PH says cringe. Okay. Beastmaster, okay, you're responding to J Master. Okay. All right. Victor says Trump 2028. Joe Flores, please hit the like button. Yes, indeed, folks. Homestead, no kings. We don't want any kings. Homestead, I went to the riot. Well, not the riots, but the protests they had down in New York, and people were actually getting, I don't want to use the word, but they were being abused by weapons right in the crowd. I don't know what incited such violence, but that happened at the No Kings protest that I went to. There was a lot of violence there. Jay says exactly both parties mess with. Oh, yeah, we don't want to say that. Okay, Richard says pretzel. I guess that has a meaning that I don't know about. Shall not and friend says I'm not upset with Trump. Okay, Mezzo says as a Democrat, I don't give a flying who's on the list. Documents, I wasn't the facts on all of it. Okay. Michael says, Michael Bailey, they've just now realizing Trump is full of it. Full of what? Michael, what is he full of? Tell us. Tell us what it is. Okay. A1 Steak says, pray for Trump and take him off of the list. Oh my goodness. Bordeaux, please keep it chill. So we all can chat and share opinions. Right on. Keep it chill, folks. This is a friendly zone. This is not where we're going to take people out back and throw the dukes in the air. Joe Wilson, welcome aboard, Joe. MAGA folks are uneducated, so they don't know how to be upset with. Okay. All right. We take it that Joe is not too happy with MAGA folks. No, no, no. Clinton, oh, the number's gone up now. Richard says Clinton flew 11 times 1 year. Obama, never. Did he really go? What, he had a monthly plan? Oh, my goodness. That's terrifying. RMMR says he covered up unaliving JFK. They're covering things up. Tell us all about it. At the end of the day, it doesn't affect us, just the elite. Thank you, RMMR. Okay, Gradlin says, I feel for all of the girls that were violated. Their interviews with them on NBC as a female. How can Pam Bondi live with herself? Very good question. Very good question. You have a right to ask a question. D Lane says they're buying Trump's crypto. Yeah, they were buying it. I mean, Trump sold a lot of crypto. I'll have to look back. At one point, I was following the crypto. I'm not sure. A lot of people actually took money out from loans and they filled up their lines and so forth. Where they just bought so much of that crypto and then it fell tremendously. Is it back up? Are you making $1? Beastmaster says everyone has masters, something they worship. Just choose God as your master. Okay, Beastmaster is in here preaching. Shout out to you. Tell the people about the word. PH says we have to stop Trump supporters from harming themselves. Is that what they're doing? Oh my goodness. Salt and Pepper says there's a pic of Epstein accuser Shantae giving Clinton a neck rub at the airport. Haven't seen that. Not sure if that's true or not. This is what is being said. Richard says, but Trump is definitely on a different level of friendly with Epstein. Okay. You could rightly come to that conclusion, I guess, looking at those pictures and whatnot. Okay, so let's get back to thank you for all the comments, guys, but we're going to get back to the videos. Okay, so folks, who's on the list? Why are they hiding it? That's what he wants to know. Okay, so you'll see now where he's going to change his tune, and then I'll get back to the comments. Check him out now. I think it's that gray suit and that yellow tie made him change his mind. They say when you wear a gray suit, it's a yes day. Check it out, folks. Okay, so it seems that he's changing his story a little bit, guys. What do you think about that? Hmm. He's backpedaling a little bit. All right, so let's see what we have here. Okay, Shosky. Maybe it's just a black problem. Perhaps. Roseanne says one of the girls from the island became an artist, and her paintings show Trump, Clinton, okay, Dershowitz, among many others on the island. Google it, Maria Farmer. Thank you for that information, Roseanne. It's nice to have you here. Please come back and keep sharing. I could tell that you definitely know what you're talking about. Okay, so, and thank you again, Roseanne. I appreciate you. Thanks for all you do. That girl, Henny, shout out to you. Guys, I'm going to drop the link. If I only have one rule, if you do come up, you have to show your camera before I let you on stage. And be kind. I don't have any vile energy toward anyone about anything. So you're free to come up, but we have to be respectful. And this is a place that's heavily monitored. YouTube, you can't just come on and not be presentable. Make sure you're fully clothed, folks. I've been on some live streams and people have done some weird things, folks. But we want to keep this going, so let's stay within the guidelines. Girl Henny, oh, okay, come on up, Henny. Henny's in the building. All right, Henny, what's happening?
Hey Mel, nothing much. How are you?
All right, I'm okay. Not too bad. Not too bad.
So you've jumped down the Trump rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've always been a big. I follow Trump definitely more on Facebook. So every day I post about Trump. It's just in my blood. Probably the last 5 years I post about Trump every day. Donald Trump, as far as the stock market goes, I've single handedly made so much money from this administration. So I like to
Interesting.
cover all these interesting facts. So tell us, what do you know?
Well, I don't know about all of the flight plans that have been dropped and released, but I do know that I do have one flight log. And on that flight log, it is actually true that Clinton is on there multiple times, along with Chris Tucker and a bunch of other people. I've flown on that plane multiple times, but I think people forget that outside of the Lolita Express, there was an airway that went right into that island. So people with private jets didn't have to get on Epstein's plane and be on the flight log, but I don't know who was talking about it. They're correct. It's actually out there that Trump and Epstein were friends in the 90s and early 2000s. And when all of these lawsuits came out, that's when he started denouncing the friendship. But Epstein was at Mar-a-Lago with Trump.
Really? At
Yeah.
Mar-a-Lago, huh? I saw that. So much stuff is out there. I didn't know if it was totally true. But did you say when you started off, you said Trump, right? Because it went
Uh-huh.
out a little bit. So Trump was on the Express
No, Trump is the list that I have. Trump
on
is
the
not
list.
on, yeah, the flight log. He's not on the flight log I have. Now, I can't talk about any other flight logs. I just know that this was the more recent um flight log that I got, and I didn't see him on there. But that doesn't mean he didn't go to the island. I mean, he had a jet. So I if they were friends and Epstein was going to Mar-a-Lago, and at one point in time it's alleged that there were young ladies that were brought in, and that these young ladies were supposed to be like a calendar type of thing that was going on, and it was just Epstein and Trump. But they were friends. He was a guest in his home. And then he really distanced himself once he was running for presidency from Trump.
Okay.
I mean, from Epstein.
Okay, I see. Wow.
So it's a lot with this. It's a deep rabbit hole.
Do you think that there's actually a list that they have in the background, or do you think it's just all about files that Elon Musk keeps talking about?
I believe that this list that they're talking about consists of flight logs, contacts, things of that nature, guest lists that were at his party. I think the client list they're speaking of does exist out there somewhere between all of these lists that we're looking at. It exists. They just don't want it to come out. I think it would tear the whole structure of the world up, not just the power structures here, but everywhere, because there's royals there. Just but the crazy thing is, this is the same thing we've heard about Diddy. Politicians, royals, celebrities, people in power. It's kind of mirroring, and it's eerie how it mirrors.
Wow. You think it's one of those cases where the people in power are so afraid that they're on a video somewhere that they have strings pulled to bring these men into question, or what do you think?
Honestly, I don't think we're ever going to get that information anytime soon, at least not. Um, One of the things that I know I was talking about with some of my followers, and I was talking with you earlier, was that Epstein was given a non prosecution agreement. And that was given to him when he was arrested and served time in Florida, in Palm Beach County jail. And part of the agreement was that he would have co conspirators that would not be indicted along with him. And he worked out where he would be on work release, and a sex offender on work release for 12 hours out of the day for 6 days a week.
Wow.
So I don't think, and he wasn't supposed to be prosecuted, and he wasn't supposed to be in the feds when he was in the feds. So somebody broke that agreement. And I think because of all of that, I don't think they're trying to release this list, but it's there. I do believe it exists.
They seem terrified about this list. I'm not sure what's
Hmm.
going on. Hold on one second. So, DEIJT, can you at least release your camera so I can see that you're a real person? You could cut it right back off. But before I bring you on stage, I like to verify. Are you there? DEI, if you can hear me. I need you to show your camera. All right, so I'll give you a second or two to show your camera, and then I'll bring you up. I'll look out for that. So just for a second, I'm going to go through a few comments, and then I'll get right back to you. Okay, Henny?
That's fine.
Henny, why don't you tell everybody in the audience? We have a lot of people here tonight. Tell them how we met and what we do.
So I met Mel down at the Diddy trial, and basically we cover some of the similar topics. But I actually sat down with Mel. I happened to be in the cafeteria one day, and he was in there, and we actually sat down. We had lunch during one of the breaks, and we started talking, and we basically analyze everything that we see, and then we come back and we report to you guys. So we
Thank
met
you.
at the Diddy trial.
So we cover the trials, folks, and we'll
Mhm.
be covering many more. We cover a lot of different things. Definitely cover Donald Trump, Elon Musk, but we also covering Epstein now because he's a hot topic. I don't think he's going to last a long time. I don't know though. A lot of Trump supporters are very passionate about. Well, I think people in general want to know what's happening. So, all right, DEI, here's your shot. I'm gonna give you a shot to express yourself.
Hey, can you hear
Are
me?
you there? Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, we can hear you loud
We
and
can hear
clear.
All
you.
right. So yeah, so there has been flight logs, and Trump has been on the Express, many times. I think
Mhm.
they say around seven, but no one's really known if Trump has been to the islands. But Epstein Island, but Epstein had residences from across the world, right? This type of stuff wasn't only occurring on Epstein Island; it was occurring at all of his residences around the world, including one of his primary residences, which is like one of the largest residential building in New York, where Trump
Right.
frequently attended these parties with Epstein.
Mhm.
And there are multiple witnesses. If you go read the 2016 case, where Trump allegedly had relations with this 13-year-old girl with Epstein, there are multiple witnesses of them being together with the 13-year-old girl at the party. So I would tell everyone to just read that case and then look through the evidence to see if there's any credibility to that. Yeah. Any thoughts? Or
Yeah, I just
I
wanted
know
to.
like Trump
Do
supporters will
you?
say, "Oh, that case was the plaintiff withdrew it." But obviously, if you're getting like death threats from Epstein from Trump, then or potentially get from Trump, then you probably wouldn't want to pursue it further if it threatens your life, if it threatens your family's life. Um,
So let me just ask you a question. Do you think that there's a list out there, or do you think there's files? What do you think? Can you hear me? I think we lost you.
I think you lost him. Someone in the
Hello?
chat.
Yeah,
There he goes.
I think I'm just.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Say that again.
What did someone in the chat say?
No, I was asking you. Do you think that there's
Hold
really
on. What did
files?
someone in the chat say?
Oh, I was just saying someone in the chat was saying that Ghislaine Maxwell said she's going to release the list and sit before Congress. Now I don't know how recent that is, but I do know people have been wondering like what is she going to do cuz she's sitting for 20 years and Epstein is no longer here. So I don't know if that's, I've got to go pull that. Is he there?
Yeah, I think we may have lost him. Okay, yeah, he's back. We lost him for a second.
Okay, so it's an article from today. And I have not been on my Instagram, but I'm looking in my inbox right now because they are telling me I sent it to you today. So I'm looking right now so that I could right here.
Okay, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So you want to ask him that question one more time before we move back to the audience?
Yeah. So apparently, Ghislaine is talking about the list and going to sit before Congress. So I'm not sure.
So DEI, do you have any comments on that?
So you said Maxwell was going to Congress to testify. That would be news to me. Like I haven't heard that yet. So it is new news. It would be recent. Like, mm.
Well, this is coming from the Daily
And I think it
Mail.
would be a good development for the case. I mean, obviously, if she's the one trafficking these young women, these young girls around, she would have a lot of insight as to the clients that Epstein had.
Yeah, I would think that she would have access to that list too. I do have the article, and I'm looking at it. Ghislaine, this came from the Daily Mail, and it came from today, and it's saying that Ghislaine,
I wouldn't trust the Daily Mail that
you wouldn't
much.
trust
Like
them.
they, the Daily Mail kind of tends to publicize like sensationalize like stuff. Unless like maybe the AP reports on it, since I assume it would be big enough news to where like a more like less biased like newspaper was reporting it or something of the sort. Like I
Okay.
do they cite any sources in that paper? Other
Hold on one second. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm trying to see if they say like according to such and such.
I'm going to give you like 2 minutes. I'm going to breeze through a few of these comments if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Yeah, while you look that up real quick. So John Edwards says Trump administration are not patriots, they're co-conspirators. Okay. All right. Ozzy says the last administration was run on auto pen. Okay, that's the first time I've heard that concept. Okay, somebody was Bordeaux gave you a shout out, Henny. There's an
Hey,
indictment
Bordeaux.
on Jeffrey. Has anyone read it? There's an indictment. Okay. All right. PH says it's a cult. Okay. K-Man says from 2009 to 2012, Obama's DHS carried out approximately 3 million returns and removals of his first term alone. Okay. Handyman says yes, it's definitely a cult. I think he's talking about MAGA. D Lane says white supremacy has never gone away. It's much more visible. They have been emboldened to come out and be themselves. Okay. That girl Henny had said Trump has ties to Trump for the 90s and early 2000s. Okay. Shout out to you, K Man. Handyman says, K Man, we're not against deportation. We're against deportation without due process. Okay. Tia says Elon was one of the many tech bros Dems that crossed over to pay to play. Elon did have a positive impact, and I do believe he cared about Doge, but he also expected the ROI, which he was denied. Okay. A1 Steak says Trump is going to replace Bondi with Matt Gaetz because Matt Gaetz has prior experience with young individuals. Whenever you're ready, Henny, just let me know.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't see anything else. So
Okay. All right. And as far as go ahead, DEI.
sorry, like people in chat say I have like no, have nothing to back my claims. If you just Google like 2016 Trump case, I believe the pseudonym the plaintiff used was like Kate Johnson. If you just look that up, and you just read through it, you'll definitely see there are witnesses listed who saw Trump, Epstein, and a 13-year-old girl together at Epstein's party, and Trump was 48 at the time. So what were they doing together with the 13-year-old girl? Were they doing like business deals? Like hello? Like, am I the only one who's suspicious? Um, so I do have evidence to back my claims. You just have to look it up. There's files, there's court cases. Like, you just got to look it up. If you guys don't want to, then I don't know what to say to the person in chat who's like, you know.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for your expressions. We enjoy having you on the show today, and we'd like to have you come back in the future if you would like to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Good night.
Right. All right. So let's see. Shall not infringe says the indictment talks about videos so they know everyone. Okay. Let's see here. All right. The treaty. Okay, that's a repeat. Epstein touched another member's kid at Mar-a-Lago. Epstein was removed and barred. Okay, so that's why I think someone D Lane is telling us why Epstein was kicked out of Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for the insight. Ozzy says Henny, Trump and Epstein were friends until 97. You want to expound on that, Henny? You can.
I mean, he's just basically confirming what I was saying.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Handyman says, K-Man, ever heard of a constitution? A1 Steak says, Trump was on the Express. There were flight logs. Okay.
And the thing is, there have been so many fake logs that have come out. You know, different lists about different things. It's kind of hard to figure out which is which at times. You know, since Epstein deleted, because I'm still up in the air with the self deletion versus an ordered deletion. I lean more towards ordered because of all the suspicious stuff that has gone on. But there's been a lot of lists that have been published. And I think those lists were done like that, fake ones on purpose to try to confuse people.
Oh, wow. I had not heard of that one. That's pretty good, though. Good explanation. Thank you for sharing that. I would imagine, like anything else, people just make up stuff all the time. So that would be my first question. Like, how do you authenticate this list, you know? Eric says, watch The Image of God, Jordan Peterson. Readers, start listening with your eyes closed and identify the three individuals that the voice is, and you will see the truth. Open your eyes 10 seconds. So that's some sort of way of navigating. Shall not infringe says Trump declassified a lot his first term. Okay. He says that a lot. I think he actually says in one of the videos I'm about to play. Thank you, Bordeaux, for telling everybody to hit the like button, share, subscribe if you like the information.
But you know what? I'm going to say this.
Go
Just
ahead.
like people are, you know, he declassified a lot of information, Please don't forget that he also had classified files in his home, in the ballroom, and in this room, and that room, and in the bathroom. And they don't know all of the classified documents that he took because, I mean, who's to say? And yes, I'm putting on my conspiracy theory cap and turning it backwards right now. But who's to say he didn't take some of those classified documents and destroy them? Who would know? How would they know? They just know about what they found in his home. And that to me is highly suspicious. I mean, yes, there was, you know, stuff that they talked about that dealt with military stuff that he had. But come on, if he's named in them Epstein files, of course he's not going to want those files to be around anywhere.
Right. That's a good point. I think he that's the whole investigation was about the files that he had at Mar-a-Lago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good point. Good point. Okay. All right. So Ozzy says Trump was never on the island or the express. He disowned Epstein in 97. Okay. Show us a picture of Trump and Epstein together after 97. Okay. So that's a good point, I guess. Let's see. I assume that the videos that I showed earlier, I don't know the actual year, so we assume that it's
We
before
couldn't
97.
hear. I'm sorry, we couldn't hear the videos that you were showing right before I came up.
No? You can't
No,
hear it?
no.
Oh. Hmm. Well, I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna play this a little. Let's see. What's the problem? Stop sharing. I'm gonna play this and tell me if you can hear it or not. No,
No,
you can't hear that.
no.
Hmm. I wonder why. Okay, so we won't be showing the rest of the video until we figure that out. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm not sure why we can't hear the video though. Let's see. All right, so let's go back to the comments here. A1 Steak says, read the 2016 violation case. Multiple witnesses saw Trump and Epstein with a young person together at Epstein's New York parties. Okay. All right. I guess that's the gentleman that could have been up here already. Seems to be the same dialogue. Mashona, shout out to you. Good evening, Mel, in the chat. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you very much. It's been a great weekend. Handyman says they ain't lying. He has over 34 convictions and they don't care because though he was there for them. Okay. I actually attended Donald Trump's trial in New York City where he was accused or convicted of 34 felonies. So I attended that trial. I was there the day that I think his name was Costello.
Mm-hmm.
He was being very contentious with the judge, and so all of us were kicked out of the courtroom, including Donald Trump. You know how with Diddy's case, Diddy would come in the front, far left into the courtroom.
Right.
Donald Trump would have to walk in the back door and all the way down the aisle. So that was pretty interesting. Every day, every time he had to leave the courtroom, he had to file out with his whole legal team and what have you. So that was interesting. He had a lot of support, though. I saw a lot of celebrities there throughout the trial.
Well, I mean, Diddy was an inmate in custody, so that would explain why he entered through there. And I guess Donald had to go in through the regular door like everybody else because he wasn't in custody, which is crazy to me because if anybody had a 34 count indictment like he did, doing the things that he did, they would be in the feds right now.
Talk on it. Break it down.
I mean, it's just the same thing. And going into all of these trials, it's money, it's power, it's privilege, it's prestige, and it's blackmail. And I'm really starting to see the higher up you go, it's not about who you know, it's about who you can blackmail.
Wow.
So, I mean, if I went in there and I had tax things and a this and a that, and I'm stealing federal files, and I've got all this stuff on me. If an average person cannot run for presidency as a felon, how does this even happen?
Good point. You make a strong point.
A felon can't vote, but a felon can run the country.
Yes, preach on it, speak on it. That was a very common question I would often get during the time when Donald Trump was running for president. A lot of
Because,
people want to know.
so you mean to tell me Diddy can run for president? Because, even though people are saying prostitution, whatever, they're federal charges. So Diddy is now a felon. So can Diddy run for presidency
Yes, he can.
and become a president? I mean, I think so now.
He
And I
just
feel like,
can't vote. It's
yeah, but I
crazy.
feel like that should be off the table because come on, you can't vote, but you can run the country.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is, folks. That's a good point you're making. Definitely making a good point. All right. Bordeaux says anyone wants to join the panel. Come on up, folks, if you do. We appreciate all of the participation. This is a friendly zone, so there's no, this is not a debate. This is not an argument. You're free to come up and express yourself any way you want to. Just be respectful to others and be kind. That's all we ask for. A16 says, why was Trump and Epstein hanging out with a young person? Interesting. All right. Eric, thanks for being here. D Lane says, Bill Clinton is on the list because Epstein loaned that plane or the plan to the Clinton Foundation as his contribution. Kevin Spacey just said in an interview that he got rides on those flights as well.
He did. He's on the list.
Spacey's on the list? Okay. But they said, according to D Lane, it was all a part. The rides were for the Clinton Foundation.
I don't know. I just know that they were going here, there, and everywhere on that plane. Okay. They were in parts of Asia, they were in Africa, they were all over the place on that plane.
Wow.
Matter of
That
fact,
is something. Okay. Let's see. D Lane says, get a WhatsApp number. And that way you can delete if you need to. Okay. Oh, okay. I get it. For the calls. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So that's how you do the calls. Okay.
you could do it that way. And then I've seen some do it the other way. It sounds like they were using what's that old video thing that we used to use? Oh, there's been
Skype.
so
Skype.
many. Skype,
Skype.
yeah.
Yeah.
People have
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
Skype, yeah.
Okay. All right. Tia says that Myron uses Streamline for calls. Thank you, Tia. Tia, can you seem knowledgeable about it. If you could send me an email, I definitely like to pick your brain about it even more. But I'll definitely write that down, Streamline, and look into it as well. It's watching the world with two O's in world. Okay. At gmail.com. If you maybe one of the someone could, maybe Joe, if you could just put it into the, or Bodo, if you could put that into the chat, one of the moderators. Okay, Leroy Bird says, yep, even if every child violation and or trafficking incident was on a film and recorded, the Trump crime family would not be held accountable anyway. The fact is that they are. Okay, thanks for sharing your point. Cruz Red Eye says Trump is on the flight logs. Okay. Somebody else said that. Handyman says, we don't care if Democrats are on the list, release it, and let those who are guilty pay the consequences. Okay. All
I
right.
agree.
What do you speak on that? I'm going to try to upload this video a different way while can you speak on that comment for a second?
I agree with that comment because I just feel like at the end of the day, we've come to a day and age where we're tired of turning on the news or opening up a newspaper or even coming on social media and seeing that yet another person has been exposed for dealing with teacup humans and trafficking them across the country and using them as slaves or manipulating the innocent, the people that are younger. And I just feel like enough is enough. Who cares who's on the list? Let's make them pay for it. Because now what I'm going to tell you is Pam Bondi, for me, oh, Pammy, no disrespect to the Miss Pammy that be in my chat, but oh, Pammy got caught with her hand in the cookie jar. She literally lied. Okay. She said, and I quote,
What?
yeah, when they asked her about the list, the Epstein list, she says, and I quote, It's on my desk right now, along with the MLK and JFK files. That was her quote. It was a specific question asked to her about the Epstein list. And she said, it's on my desk. Now they're trying to clean it up and say, oh, I was talking about the file. No, you were asked a specific question. You gave a specific answer. You did not say, I have the Epstein files on my desk. You answered that you had that list on your desk with the with the JFK and MLK files. So if you were talking about files, when you brought up JFK and MLK, wouldn't that have charged your memory like, wait, I don't have the list specifically, but I do have. You could have said at that point, pardon me, I meant I have Epstein's file along with JFK and MLK. That's not what happened. Now you're coming out and you're trying to clean it up. Donald Trump is getting an attitude that the press is asking, oh, we're still talking about this creep. Well, yeah, we're talking about it. You brought the subject up. So since you brought it up, we're going to talk about it. But I just feel like we live in a perverse society, obviously, where the innocent and their innocence is not priority. And protecting the guilty, the sick, and corrupted in their mind, spirit is more important than protecting the children. That's an issue for me. That's a problem for me. And the thing is, how is the rest of the world viewing us?
No, that's a good point. Very good point.
Truthfully, the only reason why I want to know what happened to Epstein is because if they're just going to be out here deleting people who hold secrets, that's an issue. Because you're still trying to protect the guilty. Guilty is guilty.
Right.
Period. And I don't care how people try to color outside of the lines and make it okay. And yes, they were actually trying to, because I was in the chat when you were talking about this, they were actually trying to legalize marrying teacup humans. What? So we're going back in time? We're no longer in those days and ages where it was socially appropriate to marry a young lady once she begins her woman time. We're no longer there. We've moved way past those days where there are laws that are in place that are supposed to protect children from pedos, PDF files, and people who are sick of the such. But now we're looking at, and this is what I really want people to grasp in their minds. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care if you're a MAGA, a Republican, or a Democrat. At this point in time, the issue is not about the race that you believe in standing behind, or the party, that you believe to stand behind. The issue is, as human beings, as citizens of this United States, are we going to sit back and allow this to continue to happen? Where we get information that gets leaked out. The whistleblowers suddenly disappear. There's revenge that gets taken out on them. And then it gets swept under the carpet. Another controversy comes out and it's like dangling a shiny thing in front of the public. And we're like, ooh, let's look over here. But meanwhile, this thing over here is disappearing.
Right.
I just want to know what's going on. I just want to know. I think we have a right to know. I just want those people to stand before a judge and get what's due to them. Let them be publicly humiliated because what you did was disgusting and disgraceful. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. I got on my
No, speak on it.
I'm really just very passionate about that because, those are the most defenseless people on the face of this planet, are kids.
Right.
And I keep saying that because I think people get so caught up in things that they forget that this is what we're talking about. People dealing with teacup humans.
Right. No, you make a valid point, and I really appreciate how you broke it down. I'm going to try to play this video. It touches on the point you made. I'm going to play it a different way. So let's see if we can get it to play here. Can you hear it now?
We hear it.
Okay.
They've been hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
For years. Are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. In February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention. And my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file, and that's it on Epstein.
Now, before he
Okay, so that was the point that you had touched on,
Right.
right? That's the point where you said she was basically lying about the matter.
Yeah. I think they're all lying about it. And Trump really didn't want her to answer that question. If you were to see the whole press release, he didn't really want her to answer that question. He's like, are we really going to waste time answering this question? Do you really want to answer that? And she's like, yeah, I'll answer it. But he really was trying to tell her, she wasn't picking up the context clues, that he was basically trying to shame her into not answering the question, making it seem like, oh, this is so minor. Are we still talking about him? Yes, we are.
Wow, still definitely talking about it. I'm gonna breeze through a few more of these comments, and then we'll get back to the video. Cruz Red Eye says hi. Shout out to you, Cruz. Sharon, hello, Sharon. How are you? Thanks for being here. Guys, go check out that girl Henny. She has an incredible channel as well. You can see she is very expressive. That's one thing I learned about it. She doesn't mind expressing herself, and she is very intelligent, and I like the way she gives her information. It's very unique to find someone that's willing to speak the truth, because most people just beat around the bush, but not that girl Henny. So I can vouch for her in that regard.
And anybody that's in my chat watching, please come over and subscribe to Watching the World 777, okay? Because he's awesome. He approaches this from a completely non-biased stance, and yes, he has great topics. Like, I think you and we're really on the same wavelength with the things that we think people should be paying attention to. And I am very expressive and passionate. I'm a New Yorker and I'm a Sag. Of course I'm going to be passionate.
Well, that's all right. I'm enjoying having you here tonight. Believe that. Believe it.
I enjoy your podcast. I mean, I enjoy it. I really enjoy being up here. I love when you have your panels. It's grown folks stuff, and we all have great minds. You know, you have a great mind as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. A1 Steak says that's one of the reasons why the Democrats and Republicans both won't release the list. Right. Good question. Why didn't Joe Biden release the list?
Because somebody he knows is probably on it, or the Democratic Party probably put pressure on him to not release it, or even making a talking point. Because what was Bill Clinton? A Democrat. So it's people on both the left and right side of this thing that stand something to lose. So I wouldn't be surprised that the FBI and the OIG and all of them are in on trying to bury this thing as far as they can. There's a lot of suspicious stuff with all of this. I mean, just the subject matter of Epstein is a whole thing within itself.
Right. Well, I don't think Bill would have been. I don't think Cousin Bill would have been. I don't think Cousin Bill would have been on the Express right now. So
I can actually show you where he's on the bill.
Yeah, I know that.
Bill is on there. I can share my screen and show you he's on there.
Bring it on.
Times.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Whenever, if you want to show it. But I've always heard. I definitely always heard that one though about Bill. So that's interesting. Okay, Michael Bailey says Maxwell recruited young ones from Mar-a-Lago. Wow. I did hear that tonight several times. So A1 Steak says Trump met Melania through Maxwell. Wow. Not hard to believe though. Michael
she doesn't
Bailey.
like him. I'm sorry, I had to say that.
She doesn't like him. Okay. Everybody likes Trump. Isn't that a?
I don't think so, because I actually saw a video of people barbecuing their MAGA hats, barbecuing their Make America Great Again hats.
Really? Were they
Yeah.
Trump supporters at some point?
That's what it's looking like. If you go over there on TikTok, there's a lot of people who are saying that they are MAGA and they are pissed.
Really? Wow.
Because the MAGA supporters wanted this list released, and that was one of Trump's talking points when he was elected, that if I'm elected again, I will release the Epstein files. And now you don't release it, you're losing your people. They're pissed.
Wow. That is a mess for his own people to turn on him. Not the MAGA folks.
Right?
Not of all people, not
the people
MAGA.
of the insurrection, not them. Like, what? Those are the last people to piss off.
They're gonna start me to crying like Alex Jones. Let me show you here.
Oh Lord, not Alex Jones crying.
Oh, you gotta watch it. Oh boy, why isn't this playing now? These videos.
Got his job. Bongino is making a living doing stuff like this.
Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
Now Bongino is out there in a suit and tie with the FBI director and former fellow podcaster Kash Patel, trying to unwind all that conspiracy stuff. Last week, he was back on Fox promising a new video that would maybe put the story to rest.
We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay, it was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this, we are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans.
Okay, remember that phrase, gonna give you the original so you don't think there's any shenanigans, right? So sure enough, on Monday, the DOJ released nearly 11 hours of video showing the hallway outside Epstein's cell. That was supposed to prove there were, quote, no shenanigans. But then, as journalist Julie K. Brown noted on our show this week, neither the doors shown there were even Epstein's cell. On top of that, the video was missing 1 minute of recording.
All right, so the video that everybody's talking about is missing 1 minute of recording. What are your thoughts about that?
I think that would be enough time for somebody to either go into the cells or come out of the cells. Honestly, a minute and some change. The angle that the camera is at, we don't actually. Hey, I'm not up on the screen. You can't see me.
My bad. I'm sorry. Let me get
Okay, I'm like an echo chamber right now. But no, you can't really see good as to what it is. That video was insufficient. It was smoke and mirrors at its worst. And for me, people are focusing on the minute and a half, but for about a good 20-30 minutes, there's a little white box that pops up on the screen at the 11, 20 something, 30 something mark. And when the screen jumps and that minute and a half is missing, the white box is gone. And that looks like an editing tool possibly, but it's not there in the beginning of the video. It just pops up at 11, 20 something, 30 something PM in the video. Not only that, they claim that they found Epstein in the cell at 6:30 in the morning. Now it is showing a common area, but from 6:30 to 6:40, when the video cuts off, we don't see anything that looks like rushing around. We don't see any of that. And I sped up the video on my channel and played it. And I'm like, guys, please remember, I sped this video up. So they're just walking around. It didn't look like there was any urgency at all. And why would you cut the video off at 6:40 in the morning when you're telling us that he was wheeled out of there to a hospital and declared deleted at the hospital? So why don't we have footage of him being wheeled out of there on some type of stretcher, gurney, something or another? The other thing that I find very interesting is in Pam Bondi's address about this video, she says that the camera systems are from 1999. And so every night they do that at midnight. Well, why don't we have another video yet that shows us that every night at midnight, this is what happens? Are y'all taking all of this time to doctor and manufacture a new video? What are you doing? But she said 99. In the OIG report from, the DOJ, it says that the cameras were updated in 2018. So how are these cameras from 1999 when we have a whole report from the Inspector General for the Department of Justice that says clearly that in 2018 they updated the system? And the funny thing about that is the night that, 2 nights before Epstein allegedly deleted himself, they were having issues with that camera system. They said that they got the.
You're muted. We can't hear you. You're muted.
They said that they needed specific parts for DVR2. DVR2 was responsible for majority of the cameras in the prison. So you're telling me that you have a main camera system for the prison that is down from the 8th to the 9th to the 10th, and you have all these people in your care, and you have it streaming live stream, but it's not recording to the DVR. And it's just so coincidental that happened.
Right.
There's a lot of fishy stuff going on when it comes down to this tape and the night in question.
Sounds very fishy. I'm telling you, you're very versed when it comes to the story. I'm very impressed.
When I'm offline, I'm reading. I'm reading documents. I'm watching videos. I go down a rabbit hole. So I don't always get content out as consistently as I would like to, because I like to absorb what I'm about to put out. So that way, after I do my video, if I need to talk about it, I'm educated on what I'm talking about so that I can stand on it, because in this world, receipts are everything. I don't want to just say something and I can't back up what I'm saying. But no, if you go to that OIG report, you're going to see the whole timeline of events where, they told you this was the common area. And then the brother did some interviews, and I caught them on Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo and a couple of other places. And he said he asked for the video of his brother being the only next of kin that's left. And he was told that the videos, he couldn't get them because they were part of an investigation. Well, now the investigation is over and he's being told, well, we don't have any cameras of that area. So the mystery of these cameras, it just keeps going.
Yeah. So it's similar to the Diddy case, right? The mysterious videos, they just disappear, right?
Right.
Very interesting. All right, we're going to go through a few more of the comments before we get back to the video again. All right. Handyman says, I'm not surprised that they get physical against those who don't support Trump, but they didn't get physical with those on January the 6th. Okay, good point. Or those white supremacist demonstrations. John Doe, shout out to you. Thanks for welcoming. Big Mike, wouldn't let Obama go. Okay, all right. Mashona says, welcome and thanks for joining. Thank you for supporting everybody. You in Bordeaux. Shout out to you, John. Joe Friday, a fitted with the suit. Son must be from the Bronx River. Nope, I'm from Virginia, not from the Bronx River. So whatever that means is all good. Joe Friday.
From the Bronx.
It must be
Bronx vibes, you guys.
No, I don't have Bronx. Never lived in the Bronx before. Joe Friday. Okay, no, Bordeaux. Okay, Michael Bailey. 2 billion of his worthless meme coins in the Middle East gift festivals of 400 million jet. Okay, must be talking about Donald Trump. D-Lane says 330 million reported to the SEC in the last quarter and sold crypto. Good googly muggly. Wow. Donald Trump is raking in the money, folks. Did you guys buy any of that good old crypto?
No.
All right. Joe Friday says, hey, shout out to you, Joe. Thanks for being in the building. Okay. If he still isn't in jail, he ain't going nowhere. Okay. Okay. Bordeaux says no sound, no sound. Okay. Okay, that must have been from the video at that point. Okay. Clinton was on the list no less than 27 times. Wow. 6 of those times were without his Secret Service detail.
Yes.
Nothing to see here. Ozzy, thanks for that reporting. What do you think about that, Henny?
It's the truth.
Really?
Matter of fact, I will do you one better than just saying that it's the truth. Let me see if I could share. I think I could share my screen with you. This is the actual Epstein list. Can you see it?
Yep. Let's see.
Oh, wait. You got to add it to the stage.
Okay, let me remove this first. Hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go.
There you go. So this yellow portion right here shows Bill Clinton, 4 Secret Service agents, and this is handwritten. This is handwritten. This is not typed up. It has the pilot signature on it and all of that. And as you keep scrolling, you'll see there's a whole lot of other people that are on here. But this list specifically focused on Clinton. And here you have Clinton again. Okay, going from JFK to EGGW. 1 second, I forgot which airport EGGW is. That's in London. Okay, so that's from New York to London, and then you see him going from London back to New York. All right, then you keep going, you see him here again, President Bill Clinton. Okay, I don't know the airports, but you see him on this plane multiple times. President Bill Clinton, 8 Secret Service that time. Then you see him again, President William J. Clinton. And it doesn't say anything about Secret Service on this one, on this one, on this one. Same as above, same as above, same as above, same as above. So he's on this handwritten list. And I'm more leaning on following this list because it's handwritten.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like something that's typed up, I'll side eye, and like I said, there's a lot of people, but you also see there's a lot of people. Okay, JE, we know who that is, but President Andres, I can't see the rest of that, but that's another person from another country. It's other people that have been on here, but Clinton, Chris Tucker are noted on here. See, again, this is where President Clinton right here, President Bill Clinton. All right. I don't see any Secret Service people there, but you have him here. And then it says 4 Secret Service people. Okay, there is 4 Secret Service people there as well. So you see Clinton is highlighted on this list. Alan Dershowitz is on here. So it's definitely there. The proof is there. It's just a matter of, people actually paying attention and digging and wanting to see it.
Wow, you have the receipts, right? Oh my goodness, I'm scared of you. Jeez. Wow, that's amazing.
I pull court docs and I just look at the court docs. I read them. I go digging and finding. And yeah, like the only reason I haven't gone through the flight log is because, as you saw, it's a lot of airport codes. So I have to sit down and write down each airport code. So while I'm talking, I can say, like I did a minute ago, oh, this is from New York to London, and this is from London back to New York. Like when I go through it, I want to have all of my information, but it's a lot.
Right. Thanks for sharing that. That's really good. Really good intel. Guys, give her a good shout out. Check out her channel. You can see she's very thorough. Go over and give her a like, share, subscribe. Check her out. She's really good. And you cover more and more Trump stuff too, right?
I'm covering more and more of it. I'm also going into other cases as well with other things because I feel like as people, we get so caught up in just our community, but there's actually more that's going on outside of that. And, you know, when it comes down to always covering, you know, Black and brown celebrities, I kind of get a little disappointed because I got accused during this trial of, oh, you just want to see a Black man go down. Well, I'm posting about other people, but the people are not interested. I'm not going to say all of them because I do have some loyal people that are like, whatever you're doing, I'm watching. But a lot of the majority of the masses, like this 30,000, 70,000, 50,000 people that were tuned in for Diddy, only 500 care about the Epstein. Only 600 care about Epstein and Trump, and only 400 people care about these brothers, the Alexander brothers. Now they're going on at the same time as Luigi in New York, but they're 3 real estate brothers that are multimillionaires who come from money, who were literally setting up trafficking women to violate them. That was the intention of it, and using social media and dating apps. And so I'm posting, I'm breaking it down. I did 2 videos on it, and people aren't interested. They want the more salacious stuff that happens with the celebrities, but Epstein wasn't a celebrity until he became one. He was just another millionaire. Trump was a controversial figure, but people weren't paying attention to everything that he did until he became a president.
Right.
As people, if we really start digging into what's going on everywhere, and cases that are similar that we're watching happen, because the one thing that all of these people have in common that we've mentioned are teacup humans. Think about that.
Yes.
So, I mean, or SEX violations towards people. So I just, you know, as a people, we just, you know, I want to bring more awareness that there's other stuff going on in the world, and there's things that we need to pay attention to, like this Epstein thing. It's bigger than what we realize.
Well, you're doing a really good job. I can vouch for you.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
think you're doing a great job as well over here, because you got the vibe, you know. And I think the more people get on and see that there's topics to be talked about and things that we should be concerned about. I think tonight we've given the people reasons to pay attention.
Right. Yeah. Very valid reasons. Yes, indeed. Okay. So we have, all right. So a lot of people were saying there was no audio at this point, so we must be way in the back. So let's go down here. Oh, wow. Look at here. Jeez. We have.
You got a whole lot of.
Oh, my God. Wait a minute. What is going on? I've never seen such comments. Okay, so we have, please, if you're appreciative of the truth or receipts, join the Henny family. Okay, that is awesome. Wonder Woman. Okay, very good. Look at all the comments. Man, I was way behind. I'm sorry, folks. Oh, my goodness. I have never, the comments are still going. Okay. All right. So Diddy for president. All right. 300 blackout. Pepper Moon. There's so much, it's hard to wrap my head around it. Okay.
This is true. It is a lot. It's so much, it'll make your head spin. For real. Like, because then it makes you, this is the stuff that makes you realize the world that we live in and how sick it really is out here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we have Swaggo back in the building. Just another scammer. Okay. Wonder Woman says, how did Epstein become a millionaire?
He's a financier, but we cannot figure out what he was a financier of. Do you know, Mel?
Well, I could tell you a rumor. I can't substantiate it, but they said in the documentary that there was a man that owned Victoria's Secret, I think.
Uh-huh.
And they were somehow, it's almost, now this is all, none of this is true, guys. This is just a figment of my imagination, okay? but it's almost like he faked that he was homosexual, I guess, to entice the guy, and somehow the guy signed over his power of attorney or what have you to Epstein, and it was like some astronomical number, like 300 million or whatever. He invested the money, and that's how he got his money up. This is what in a documentary or something that I saw. It's something like that. So the guy was sweet on him, and I guess Epstein became his girlfriend or something like that. You know, something weird in the documentary.
Well, you know, there's a
Allegedly.
lot of rumors out there because there's also rumors that he was working with the government at one point in time.
Yeah, who knows? It's just so much, right?
So we don't know where he was getting his money from at all, but he's this big time financier.
And if I'm not mistaken, the documentary is on Netflix where I got that from. I believe so. Because it breaks down the girls, you know, all these females, and also how he was able to get a job as a professor, and he wasn't even a teacher or something like that. Just I forget the story. It's been quite
Is
some
this
time.
the documentary of him with the girls in it and all of that? Because if it is, I watched that a while ago, and I may have to spin the block and watch it again because I missed that. So he's a con man. He conned his way into being
that's it.
a financier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did what he had to do to get the bag. That's how it was. Grace says freedom of speech is awesome. Okay. Do you recognize? I imagine a lot of the names of people that you know in the chat too.
Yeah, I do recognize Wonder Woman and Jessica Henderson and Swagger Low and Uniquely.
All right. You want to hit some of the comments? Go ahead. Shout out your people.
Okay. Let's see. Where do I even? We could start a little bit. So Swagalow says, no, Epstein rigged up numbers and sold bonds around the world with his business partner and made a deal with a Fed to turn on his business partner. See, this is what I'm saying. Like,
it depends on what you watch, right?
Right. It depends on what you want. I mean, I don't know. I don't see. All right. Good night, Kristen. I forgot he can see the comments too. Let me be good. Okay, so my people are over here obviously cutting up. They're saying Diddy and Epstein are linked. Now, what I can tell you from my research of what I've seen allegedly, I can't even say allegedly because they pretty much had the same guest list, and between Diddy and Epstein, it looks like their parties mirror and mimic one another, where you've got the powerful, the elite, the prestigious, all of these people coming to these parties. So that's the kind of connection. I haven't seen any direct link to the two of them where they were at each other's parties. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen anything with the two of them even in the same vicinity. I just know they ran in the same circles. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if there's really a connection. And with all that Diddy already has going on, people, we don't need to add Epstein to his list right now. Let the man get sentenced first before we start throwing new stuff at him, okay?
Yeah, right.
Oh, Lord. Somebody said Epstein was a DR dealer and a stock trader who worked the parties in New York. He had a reputation of being able to get the women out of the high-profile parties for rich people who had money to do. I don't know where you got that from, Stacy. This is a rumor. This is the rumor report you got.
It came out of the Inquirer. I want to know, right?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Swagalow said, Henny can find out if your baby daddy is cheating. I'm convinced. I stay out of personal affairs. Come on, you guys. There were Symbiotic. I think Diddy probably only met with him in the tunnels. Okay, I'm not reading any more comments. You can take over this because I see where my people are going tonight. They're in here with the jokes, and I'm not doing this with them.
They got all the jokes in.
Oh, they do. They really do. Like I try to be serious and then I look in the comments and start laughing. Like, yeah.
Swagalow says, Cuzzo, you know my name rhymes with hell. All right. Very
Make sure
good.
he knows I wasn't cutting up about him. Mel is great. Okay, so Jessica, I didn't even scroll all the way up to see what was going on. As soon as I saw that, I just came back down the chat. But you know, it's interesting. Even though people are joking, it's interesting how you can see all of the different storylines that get spun and created. And yeah, who is Josh?
Definitely a lot. Okay, so let's see if we can get through the video a little bit more. I think it's time to wind down a little bit, but let's see if I can get it back going here. Oh my goodness.
Pam Bondi's attempts to explain that missing minute didn't really help convince these suspicious conspiracy theorists.
And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Okay, that's it.
It took her 2 minutes to talk about a 1 minute missing videos.
Right.
I've never heard such craziness. All right.
Done. Now, Bondi had already stepped in it with the Epstein obsesses after promising months ago that his client list was on her desk for review, then saying there was no client list this week. Her explanation of the video gap didn't help. And this report from Wired Magazine today isn't going to help either. An analysis of the metadata from the video shows the footage was modified, likely using the professional editing tool Adobe Premiere Pro. In fact, they add the file appears to have been assembled from at least 2 source clips, saved multiple times, exported, and then uploaded to DOJ's website, where it was presented as raw footage. Now, Wired says there's no evidence the footage was deceptively manipulated. But again, it's not doing wonders for the White House's credibility with precisely the people in their base who are the most skeptical of this kind of thing.
So basically, they're saying that the video was all edited and everything else. Isn't that something?
Uh-huh. And see, this is what I was talking about with this video. If you watch the video, you see people going up and down the stairs and inside and in and out of door 46, which is next to the telephone, which is where this person is standing in front of. The corner next to the cell next to it, down in the corner is where allegedly Epstein's cell is supposed to be. But you don't see any cell blocks. You just see that common area. And you see nobody rushing around. There's no urgency anywhere in that video. It was pointless to release this.
Right. I saw, I think it's, I forget where I saw that, but they said that some of the inmates that were in the area felt like that someone came to do a check around 12:30 midnight. So I found that to be interesting. It's not in the report. No?
No, according to what they reported, no checks were done by either corrections officer from 10:30 p.m. all the way to 6:30 a.m. They falsified the count slips.
Oh, okay. That's
all night. They were falsifying the count slips. Now, those 2 guards, those 2 correction officers were brought up on charges. But guess what? They took plea deals, and then guess what happened? Charges dropped.
Life goes on.
According to the report, the night that they did not do any of the checks, what makes this suspicious and conspiracy theory gold is the fact that the officers were on the computer looking up furniture and motorcycle purchases. Like,
wow.
So it makes people wonder where they paid. Whatever happened to his cellmate, because it's never said where the cellmate went to. We've never heard the cellmate come out and speak or any of that. And just because he's incarcerated doesn't mean he couldn't have gotten on the phone and done an interview with somebody. We haven't heard from him. So where is this cellmate? Was he paid off and let out and flew out somewhere where now he doesn't have to ever worry about a thing in the world because he's taken care of? and he's put up somewhere? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's quite possible, right?
Well, it happened, Tyler.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Tyler's like, you can't take a plea deal, then have charges dropped. They did. That's what happened with these people. And that is exactly why it's suspicious.
Yeah, very suspicious. Yeah. I think this video shows the missing minute. That's the whole point of this video.
Are you still talking?
Okay, so at the end of that video, you can see the jump in the 1 minute. Okay, so now we have Trump again. He's upset. Somebody's asking about the video.
About Jeffrey Epstein? We have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. Are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet. In February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention. I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News. Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. The Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency.
So the Trump administration is committed to truth, but there's so much confusion about this whole list and files and Jeffrey Epstein, right?
Nobody believes it. Nobody believes, and they've done in a matter of a few, not even a few hours, just from these little clips that we're hearing about, all they've done is created more speculation and suspicion and distrust.
Right.
And this is a whole, like, what are they called when they're all together?
Conspiracy.
Constituents. Is that all of these? They're running on being the presidency of truth and transparency, right? That's not what we're getting. We're getting more of the same, but worse.
Right. Absolutely. Wonder Woman said collusion. Good word, though. Good word selection.
That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review, and they provided the results of that. That's transparency.
Can you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape?
The video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Donald Trump's administration is facing a full rebellion from the MAGA faithful, the most diehard, the people that spend all day online talking about Donald Trump.
All right, here's the moment you've been waiting for, folks. We're going to see Alex Jones put on the... I'll show you.
Some of the president's most strident supporters are furious at his Department of Justice after concluded there would be no further disclosures of Jeffrey Epstein-related documents, and that, basically, everyone should just drop it and move on. This comes after his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, basically spent months hyping some sort of big reveal from the Department of Justice. Epstein, of course, the disgraced New York financier who died in federal custody back in 2019 while facing child sex trafficking charges related to what prosecutors says was a years-long scheme to abuse young women. A new memo from the DOJ reiterates the department's position that Epstein was not murdered, noting, quote, after a thorough investigation, FBI investigators concluded that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in his cell. They even released nearly 11 hours of security camera footage from outside Epstein's cell that night of his death, although that will likely do little to quell the ongoing conspiracies, especially considering the video is missing an entire minute. The DOJ attributes that to a long-standing glitch with the system. Despite all the Epstein didn't kill himself memes and the never-ending, increasingly Baroque conspiracies, the MAGA faithful are really mad about this part of the memo. Quoting it here. This systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties.
So no list at all, no blackmailing at all.
That's a lie.
All this was just made up. You know, this is from the federal government, right?
No, this is all made up that's coming out now. I'm sorry. They cannot convince me. What little bit of a smidge of trust I had, I don't have much faith when it comes to this case at all.
Wow.
Now, that claim that there was no shadowy client list, ostensibly containing evidence that Epstein was secretly blackmailing political and financial and Hollywood elites, certainly seemed to contradict what Trump's own attorney general said on television back in February.
One of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. She did just say that, right? We just heard her correctly. Now her Department of Justice says no such list exists. But again, this wasn't just Pam Bondi misspeaking or speaking ambiguously, one-off remark. I mean, seriously, 4 months, this has been a drumbeat. She's promised some sort of big revelation from the documents. I mean, do you remember this? Back in February, the White House even held this big event with right-wing influencers sharing a bunch of what turned out to be previously reported in the public domain information. They had repackaged into a bunch of fancy binders, which they handed out to people. And so when the DOJ comes back basically yesterday and says, you know what, looked at it and turns out nothing to see here. Well, now that same right-wing media ecosystem is absolutely fuming.
The whole thing that this tape shows he didn't kill himself is like a joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. Like, they're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
So now by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just, you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. So I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. Because I have integrity. And
you know it's pretty bad if Alex Jones starts crying, right?
Right.
I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this tears my guts out.
Can you believe people are this upset about what's happening with Epstein and Donald Trump?
Honestly, I can, because at the end of the day, it's been administration. It's not just Trump, okay? And the reason why people are harping on Trump is because he said he was going to do something and he didn't. It's been administration after administration after administration that's been in the office since the time of his passing in 2019, where the investigations were done. And it's been years of this just being shoved underneath the carpet. You know, what's happened. And people are fed up because he said he was going to release the information that everybody wanted to know way back when. But like I said, it's been one political thing after another, and then other things that have happened, and people kind of remember, but it's kind of been in the back of everyone's mind and not in the forefront. Well, he struck the match that lighted the fire. And now you're telling us, well, you know, there's this big barn blazing back behind us, but there's nothing to see here.
No, there, huh? As they say.
We didn't. That's not what we meant. We said we were going to do this, but that's not what we meant. I have it on my desk, but that's not what I meant. I said I was going to release it, but there's nothing there. And then you give us this video, and you really either they're really Beavis and Butthead level when it comes down to intelligence, or they think that's what the American people are. And the American people are not that. And you played with people's intelligence, and you playing with people's, you know, wanting justice. There's a lot of us that just wanted justice, and Trump said he was going to give it, and he didn't. So that's why he's catching this heat. It's not because he's the only one. It's because you were the only one that said you would release it. He didn't say this in his first presidency. You're saying it now. And that was a big ticket thing. And you fell flat. So.
Right. I think in the video here, he's going to go through that.
Do you see what you've done, Pam Bondi? You have made Alex Jones cry and possibly puke, which he only does a few times a year because of how much integrity he has. In hindsight, though, I don't think that those people should be very surprised. As we have said before, repeatedly, this has been a consistent theme of our reporting here on this program. If you were a single issue voter in 2024 and hating Jeffrey Epstein and people associated him was your only issue, Donald Trump should not have been the candidate for you. Trump and Epstein were friends. Everyone has seen the photos and the party tapes at Mar-a-Lago where they seem to leer at women. And we remember when Trump famously told New York Magazine, "I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side."
Yes.
Wow, on the younger side.
Yes. See, and I've been busy digging, and I had all of these little talk about, he's saying everything. It's like he went into my brain and stole my intellectual property, because this was something that was going to be one of my talking points in the video, was the fact that Trump said that in the New Yorker. And now you say this disgusting guy, but he wasn't that back then. And you admitted that you like him on the younger side too.
Wow. That is pretty devastating, if to say the least, right?
Right.
One of the women at the center of the Epstein sex trafficking case, Virginia Giuffre, who recently died by suicide, claimed that she was actually recruited as a minor by Epstein's collaborator, Ghislaine Maxwell, at Mar-a-Lago. And when that collaborator was facing trial for sex trafficking, Donald Trump seemed oddly concerned about her.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and so a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is.
Her friend or boyfriend,
Epstein,
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck.
Do you remember that? Remember that when Maxwell was being tried for sex trafficking and Donald Trump was asked about her, and his first thing was to be like, I wish her well. Used to know her back in the day in Palm Beach, saw her all the time. Now think back to the 2024 campaign. Do you ever remember Donald Trump talking about Jeffrey Epstein amid all the crazy nonsense he said about all kinds of insane internet sewer gutter stuff? I mean, and then there's the JFK stuff and the Hannibal Lecter riffs you would do. He conveniently never brought this case up. And then when he was asked about it, Trump gave this truly remarkable answer.
Americans have lost a lot of trust in institutions, and I think there's been a lot of discussion, especially online and especially with young people. How do we rebuild that trust in institutions, the CIA, the FBI, all those institutions?
You're right.
Some people think that one way to build trust is to declassify things that everyone's talking about. I know you talked earlier about, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. So if you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these. Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
You see how fast he's answering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Check this out.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others. Certainly about the way he died. It would be interesting to find out what happened there because that was a weird situation and the cameras didn't happen to be working, et cetera, et cetera.
Epstein, I don't know so much. I mean, this became a huge obsession of the kind of online MAGA right. I mean, really, listen to how then podcaster Dan Bongino spoke about this earlier this year before joining the Trump DOJ.
This isn't about Epstein or 9/11 or JFK or RFK. It is, but it isn't. It's about a bigger thing. If you're lying about that, you're lying about everything. Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
Good question, Dan Bongino. That was back in February. And here is Dan Bongino just 2 months later, now installed as Trump's second in command at the FBI.
You know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Kind of a different vibe. This idea that Donald Trump, of all people, was going to be the one to crack the Epstein case wide open was always a ludicrous notion, a weird bit of projection. And it seems like MAGA world has finally figured that out. And despite all the furor from his base, and it's sizable today, Trump is desperate to talk about anything else.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. Can you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure. If
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration.
All right, so that's the end of that.
And that's what I was saying about how he was like, you still want to tell you, do you want to answer that? Like, he didn't want her to answer it, but she answered it anyway.
Yeah, something else, I tell you. Well, listen, it's been a really good night. Thanks for coming on and sharing this moment. We covered a lot of ground when it comes to this case as far as coming with Epstein. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. If somebody in the audience is talking about Israel, that's a subject that I definitely want to get on one day because it's very complicated, right?
It is. It's very complicated. And when it comes down to anything that has to deal with us in the Middle East, I am a huge conspiracy theorist on that because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the Middle East. There's a lot more than just natural resources and things of that nature that are over there. Just to touch on just a little bit, not to go too deep, but we need to really start understanding with some of these treaties and why we keep getting involved in wars that technically shouldn't involve us, but they do. But I definitely want to talk about that because he's getting ready to, really strike up some stuff, and maybe this Epstein stuff is just a distraction from what he's doing over there.
Yeah, it could be. I think it's going to be more interesting to see what happens with Elon Musk, because he's really on Donald Trump's case right now. You know,
Yeah.
I think he's the reason why Epstein is being pressed so hard right now, because he's definitely implicating Donald Trump as being in the files, right?
Right. And it's crazy that after Elon says that, we fast forward and all of a sudden there's no list.
Yeah, no blackmail, no list.
And the thing is, what's crazy is people have to remember Elon Musk was walking through and giving access to things that he should not have because he didn't have the clearance, but he was being given access to things. So we have no idea what Elon knows. And as far as the list, I think I said this in the beginning, I don't believe it's an actual list of like, oh, these are all of the clients, but these are people that were contacted. So it is a contact list that would then cross-reference. And that's what I feel like, you know, if you're doing an investigation, you're supposed to be cross-referencing everything, right? So
Right.
if I get this black book of people who are all, you know, in his contacts, right? And I get these flight logs from the Lolita Express, and I get these logs from the actual airstrip where he was at on his island, and I cross-reference everything, I get his party list. Who are the people that were coming to his parties? Who are the people that were going to the island? You start putting all of that together and you got yourself a list. So where's all the information that would accumulate and create the list? It's not that hard. It's really not.
Right. We're talking about the same government that put together extensive charts about P. Diddy's life.
This is what I'm saying. We watched how the government can get things. I mean, when you say extensive chart, I keep trying to tell you guys didn't get to see the chart and see how it all lined up. I mean, they brought us from the text message that started those FOs and then showed us, okay, this text went to this person to see if they were available, and the travel agency set this flight for this person and that person, and they landed here and they stayed in the hotel till here, and the flights out were here, and it was paid for with this card, and that card was paid for with this, and this is the damage that was left behind from that. If they can do all of that with digital footprints, you're telling me that you can't cross-reference lists and figure out who was at these parties? Because on that flight log that I showed you, it's a lot of names. It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And you have some minors.
Ooh, wow.
Why can't we talk to where are all of the victims? Where are all of the Jeffrey Epstein victims? Why are they all of a sudden quiet? What happened?
It's very selective at times, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. That tells you everything right there.
Yeah.
But I saw what the government could do with Diddy's case as far as those charts. And in fact, what really blew my mind is that one time when they were flying Jules from JFK, I think, to LAX and out west, they said they had metadata of him walking through the hotel lobby. Like they went back and pulled up the camera, the footage of him actually walking through the hotel. And not only that, they showed the video, folks, of them doing the do. So they show you the whole process. It's just crazy, you know. The government, they have all the information, or they can get it.
Right.
Remember that software Cellbrite, or the agency Cellbrite?
Yes,
They
and
can
he
go
was
back.
saying they can go back, but they can go in your phone. You think you've deleted something out of your phone, and it's still in the hard drive. It's still laying dormant somewhere in your phone, and it doesn't disappear until the phone starts to write over it because it needs that space. That's what he was saying. So they were able to pull information from out of phones, off of the hard drive, things that were deleted. So when you hit delete, it's not always gone. It's still there lingering somewhere. And all it takes is for a techie person to get up in your phone and pull it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what they can do. I mean, it's mind blowing. In fact, I think we were talking about it, the attorney that I do shows with, Calvin, how when a crime is committed, most of these police cars, they have those tag readers, so they're reading your license plates. And so they can go back and pull up where your car was based on the license plates, and you were in this vicinity. And if they can't get it off the tags, they can get it off of ring cameras in the vicinity by geo fencing. And you know what was interesting? They tried to act like it was a big deal for what's his name, Brian Koberger. But remember, they had the DNA off of the knife sheath, right?
Yes.
So from my
And they got
own
the DNA match from a dad's Q-tip that he threw out in the garbage, and they were
in the
able
garbage, right. But I think what made him a suspect is they had the DNA, and I think you have these corporations like 23andMe that I've invested in and what have you that do the DNA checks, people trying to find out their history. Something with that triggered so that they could even pinpoint Brian Koberger in the first place. Then it was a matter of following him to Pennsylvania, because in the news, the feds didn't want to tell you what they used to pinpoint Brian Koberger, but it's definitely like 23andMe. It was something like that, right? I did that for my own investigation. Then they follow him out to Pennsylvania. The dad throws something in the trash. They don't even need Brian's DNA. They use his father's, and bam, they take him down. You see what I'm saying?
And see, the funny thing is, I said to people, I said, somehow or another, the government is going to get a hold of all of these DNA samples, because where are these samples going after they run them? Ancestry.com, My Heritage, 23andMe, African Ancestry, all of these places, they take your DNA and they run it through their system. And then where does it go after that? In a biohazard bin? It could have at one point in time, but I do believe that with all the people trying to find out where they come from, they use that as a good ruse to get all of us to swab and swipe and try to figure out our DNA. And now guess what? I question, now that you said that, you know, they say that we ran it through a DNA database. What DNA database are you running stuff through?
Yeah, that's what they're running it through. Yeah. It's very high tech, but they can get you in so many different ways. So you can't tell me they can't figure out about Jeffrey Epstein and everything else, you know. Well, thank you very much. I think it's time for us to say goodbye. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday, right?
But it was wonderful speaking with you as always. I love coming up here with you. Definitely thank you for having me.
Yeah, but I could tell by the way we started talking about Diddy, we do need to do a night where we talk about some things about the case. I think we could vibe out. We have a lot of people from your side and my side. We could definitely have a great conversation.
Definitely.
A lot of people in the building, you know. Shout out to everybody that came through tonight. So many people. This was like insane numbers we did tonight. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but
I didn't notice it, but I could tell from the chat that there's a lot of people that have been coming in.
Oh my God. I've never seen anything like this before, you know.
So yes, definitely shout out to everybody. Make sure you guys are following both channels, running the likes up on both channels. But definitely I would love to come back again because I love the conversation and the vibe.
Oh, definitely. It's a vibe. Definitely a vibe. And people are still, the moderators are still hanging out in the comments. Oh man, that's amazing. Amazing people, right? All right, Henny.
All right, girl. Well,
thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
No problem. Thank you as well. I'll see you in the next one.
All right, definitely. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Take care.